Hey, what's up guys? This is the random quote generator that we created in project number 3. The way it works is you click on the generate quote button and it generates a new quote each time. We're going to be doing something similar for this project, except this is project number 17, so we're going to have to step up the degree of difficulty. For this project, we're going to use the quotable API, which is going to generate a new quote and it's going to display it on the screen using a typewriter effect just like this. So once this is done displaying, it's going to wait 3 seconds and it's going to generate a new quote, and it's just going to keep doing that indefinitely. So let's get right into it. All right, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Let's create a folder. We're going to call this one quote generator. Let's open up our Visual Studio and we're going to open up that folder. All right, let's create our 3 files: index.html, style.css, and script.js. We're going to start with our HTML. Let's click Shift 1 Enter and let's link our CSS and JavaScript files to our HTML file. All right, everything is all set up. Let's go ahead and get started here inside the body. We're going to create a div element and we're not going to put anything inside. We are going to give it an ID. Let's call it typed text. And that's going to be it. That's all we're going to need for our HTML. So we're pretty much done with it. In part 2, we'll work with CSS to, there's not really a whole lot we're going to do for this project. As you know, it's very simple, but we're at least going to give it some color. So I'll see you guys in part 2. All right, let's get started with our CSS. We're going to start in the body. We're going to change the family, the font family that is, and I'm going to go with one font called Narropol X. And if you don't have this in your computer, don't worry about it. Just look for 1000freefonts.com and go ahead and click that first link, and you're going to search for Narropol X. Now you don't have to use this font if you don't want to. This is just the one that I used, but if you want to use this one, go ahead and click download, and once you download it, you can install it in your machine. If you have Windows 10, you could go down here, you could just type in font settings and you're going to get the file that you just downloaded, and you're going to drag and drop it in here and it's going to install it in your machine. They don't have this font in Google Fonts. That's why we're not using the Google Fonts API for this project. Right, so I already installed it. So I have it in my machine. It's ready to go. And I am going to add some letter spacing because I don't want the letters too close to each other. So let's just separate them by 2 pixels. And we're also going to give this project a padding of 20 pixels. That way, when the quote is on the screen, it's not being typed all the way in the top left hand corner, excuse me. We want it to have some padding, so let's add 20 pixels to that, and let's also give it a font size of 22 pixels. We don't want it to be too small. And we're also going to change the background color. Let's go with black. Go ahead and go with whatever color you want. I'm going to go with black. And as far as the color of the actual text, I'm going to use this aqua blue, I believe, type of color. So 00 and 4 Fs. So yeah, it's going to be that kind of blue there. And I'm also going to give it some text shadow. So it's not so generic looking. Without text shadow, it's just going to look like plain old text with color, but I want it to have a little bit of a shadow so it looks like there's actually like some light coming out of the text. So we're going to go with 00, 10 pixels. And for the actual color that we want to make it appear like it's light coming out of the text, we're going to go with this same color that we used here. All right, and that's it for that. Now for span here, we're going to create a span with JavaScript. So we're going to add some features here to this span, though we haven't created it yet, just giving you a heads up on that. And all it's going to be is going to be an animation for the little rectangle that we're going to use. That's going to be the blinker. So yeah, we're using a blinker and we want it to be turning on and off just like this blinker here is. So we're going to create that effect. Let's call the effect blinker, and we want it to execute every 1 second. And we're going to use linear, infinite. We want it to be infinite. All right, now we're going to use keyframes, and let's type in the name of our animation. So what we want to happen is we want the color of the blinker. Right now it's this color, but we want it to basically have no color and then have this color again. So for opacity, we're going to set that to 0. So that's going to make it like it doesn't have any color in it. And that's it. That's all we have to do. That'll create this blinker effect. And that's going to be it for our CSS. So I'll see you guys in part 3. Let's get started with our JavaScript. We're going to create an array where our quote is going to go. Let's call it quote array. And let's create a variable called index. Let's initialize it to 0. That's going to indicate which index we're on for our quote array. And a variable text position. This is going to tell us where in the quote we're at. So which character are we currently displaying on the screen. Let's also create a variable flag. We're going to set that equal to true. And we also need to display our quote, of course, on our screen. So we need to get access to the div element that we created in the HTML file. Let's store it in this variable called destination. And we're going to get access to it by using get element by ID. We gave that an ID of typed text. All right, now that we have our variables, we need to make a request so we can generate a quote. We're going to create a function that's going to do that for us. Let's call it load quote. And in here, we have to create a URL where we want to make this request to. So let's open up our browser. We're going to search for the quotable API. Let's click on this first link by Luke PV on github.com. There's a lot of information on here on how to use this API. We just need the URL for it so we can make a request so we can generate a quote. So we're going to copy this URL here. And we're going to paste it in here. So for this API, you don't need an API key. You just need the URL. All right, once we have that, we need to make a request using fetch, and let's add the URL variable in there. So once we make the request, we're going to receive a response. It's either going to be the data that we want or it's going to be an error. So let's handle both of those things. So if the response that we receive is okay, then we want to return that data. And we want to return the data in JSON format so we can actually do something with it. But if we get an error instead, then we want to display which error or the reason for it not returning the data that we requested. So we're going to use response.status for that. All right, so if we actually get the response that we want, so the actual code that we requested, we want to do something with that data. And at this point, we have the quote. So we're going to insert it inside of the quote array in index number 0. All right, so we have the quote and it's inside of our quote array. Now we want to display it on the screen. So let's create a function that's going to do that. Let's call it Typewriter. Let's start it off with an if statement. If our flag is set to true, which it is because we initialized it to true, then we want to make a function called to load quote. That way we can get that quote and store it in our quote array. At this point, we want to add an empty space to our quote array. Otherwise, the quote that we generated and added to the quote array in this function here is not going to be recognized in this function here. At this point, we have our quote. So we're going to set our flag equal to false because we don't want to keep generating a quote. We do want to generate another quote once we display the quote that we have on the screen. So we're going to set this equal to false, and once we display our quote on the screen, we're going to set this back to true so we can generate another quote. All right, now that we have our quote, we want to display it on the screen. So let's use destination inner HTML equals quote array index, and to display the next character in our quote, we're going to use a built-in function called substring. We're going to start it from the first character, which is going to be character 0, and the next character that we want to display is text position, which is initialized to 0. Now we're going to keep calling this typewriter function, and every time that we call it, we're going to increase text position by 1. So the next time that we call it, text position is going to be equal to 1, and at that point it's going to display the next character, and we're going to do that until we display the entire quote. But that's not the only thing that we want to display. We also want to display a little blinker. So we're going to create a span in here, and we're going to go look for a vertical rectangle. So let's search for vertical rectangle. We're going to click on this third link here, black vertical rectangle. And the code for that rectangle is this here. So just copy this, and you're going to paste it here. All right, let's close this span. Now let's create an if statement here that's going to increase our text position. And as long as our text position is not equal to the length of the index, which is the number of characters that are inside of our quote, then we want to keep calling this function. So we're going to use set timeout, and we're going to call this function again, typewriter. And we want to call it every 100 milliseconds, so that's actually going to be pretty fast. But if our text position is equal to the length of our quote, then we want to generate a new quote. So the first thing we want to do is we want to set our first index, which is the only one that we're really using, equal to an empty string. All right, now we want to generate a new quote. So we're going to use set timeout to call on this same function. But this time we want to wait 3 seconds before we generate a new quote. And that's because we want the quote that is currently displayed on the screen to actually be displayed there for a few seconds before we generate a new one. That way it gives the user time to read the quote. And let's also set text position back to 0 so it could start from the beginning. And at this point we want to set our flag back to true. That way when this function gets called again, it generates a new quote here. So flag is going to be set back to true. It's going to generate a quote, and it's going to do the same thing over and over. Now the last thing we need to do is make a function call to typewriter. Otherwise nothing's going to happen. We could do that by typing typewriter down here in the bottom. Of course that's going to work. I've used that in other projects. Or you can do it like this. So let's go back up here to the top, and we're going to type in window, add event listener, load, and we're going to type in the name of the function that we want to call. In this case it's typewriter, And I think that looks a little bit more professional, I guess. All right, that should do it. Let's go back to our index.html. All right, let's right click on the screen and open with live server. And there's our first quote. So we just made a request to the quotable API. We received a quote and we added it to the quote array, and now it's displaying it on the screen. After it's done typing the quote, it's going to wait 3 seconds, and then it's going to make a new request, and it's just going to keep doing this indefinitely. So that's how you make a function call to the quotable API and display it on the screen using a typewriter effect. I'll see you guys in project number 18.